is up, buds? Welcome to Getting Higher with Weed&d. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClenahan, but you can call me Bam like the rest of the buds do. Thank you guys so much for being here. We had a down week last week, a little bit of a COVID getting around, and took me down there for a few days. But I'm feeling much better, and I'm so very much pumped to be here with my favorite people in the world, the wonderful cast of Weed&d. Things have been freaking amazing and awesome and wonderful. So thank you guys for hanging with us. It is our goal here tonight to raise the helping committee, the THC, not the THC. See, if you say the THC, then it's the helping committee. So I've kind of written myself into a corner on that. But yes, tonight we're going to be leveling up our favorite five. From level 2 to level 3, from level 2 to level 3 tonight. So thanks for hanging with us, guys. We seriously love and appreciate you. Thanks so much for all the support that makes this whole thing go round. We have a lot of really exciting stuff that's going to be coming up over the next couple of months. So be sure you follow Art Hard Studios. We are on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Discord. We're on Instagram. We're freaking all over the place. Come follow. Come hang out. A bunch of really awesome people that populate this community, and goddamn, you're all just fucking great, fun, awesome people that I care immensely about. And speaking of caring immensely about people, I'm going to pass this thing off to my favorite friend, but in order to do that, I got to pass this joint here through the magical fibers of the interweb to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna Folger. Hey, Brenna, how you doing, girl? It's your time.
I'm doing great, Bam. Brenna Folger here. You also know me as Pickles on Weed. Classic Pickles on Weed. Classic Pickles on Weed. I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited that everyone is happy and healthy. And if you are not, I hope you are healthy very soon. And I was just thinking about my favorite, teenage, they're not adult cartoons, but it was like cartoons that we watched that were probably geared towards adults from like the 90s and stuff, I know Family Guy's a thing, Simpsons are awesome. I'm here for all that. Two of them. I loved Clone High and The Critic. Those are my motherfucking, I love Clone High and The Critic.
Get off my dinghy. Not you. I love Clone High.
Thanks. And then also, fucking Clone High is so good. Okay, so yeah, I'm putting that out there. I love those. Cartoons are incredible. More cartoons, please. And also, Abby! More Abby! Give me some of that, Abby!
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I am Abby Dandy, also known as Amaryllis VonCheux round these parts. VonCheux. Yeah, I watched a lot of cartoons, my dad's an artist, so visual media was always really appreciated in the home growing up. I remember on Cartoon Network in the early, mid 2000s, there was a show called Chowder, which really was really goofy and silly. And then there was another one called The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, which was just so weird and grody and the weird parts of SpongeBob, but questioning life and it's nihilism. It's great. Good. You know what you want in a cartoon, right?
100%.
Yeah. What about you, Drewby? Tell me about them cartoons.
Oh, thanks, baby girl. What up, y'all? Drew. Tonight, just hanging with the buds, getting high, not playing anybody. But yeah, normally Digbag Moleeggington III. Digby for short as well. Anyway, yeah. What were you talking about?
Cartoons. Adultish cartoon.
Right. Adult cartoons when it was 2. Well, I'm going to go super old school. I'm going to go Ren and Stimpy. That was the first and foremost. That was the one that was the precursor to all the other. I think that was the one that birthed Cartoon Network and
Powdered Toast
all of those shits. So Powdered Toast Man. No, sir, I don't like it. You know, the horse that just doesn't like shit.
Doesn't like it.
All of them. The beaver, tooth beaver, when his teeth get rotten and they come and chew on the nerve end. Oh my God. I
still think about when they cheese grate his arm. Right? The cheese grate his arm and pour salt in it. I've had that visual living rent free in my head for my entire life.
There was just so much weird
and also,
shit. Log. Yes. Big, it's heavy, it's wood. And don't whiz on the electric fence. See, all right, I'm done. I love you guys. I'm just so happy to be surrounded by all of this love, and I'm just gonna pass this right along to you, best friend. Hey, buddy, it's good to see you. This is for you.
Loud and clear, best friend. Oh man. Oh, I'm so excited. I love you guys. Hi, hello. Jake Taylor here as Gary Greenheart. Soon to be level 3 stout halfling paladin. Wow. But cartoons. So the 2000s were like an interesting time for adult cartoons. You mentioned Family Guy. But
That cat fucking loves Family Guy, bro.
it's like Peter Griffin's my spirit animal, and I'm an animal. But for me, it's between Mission Hill and the Oblongs. Two very interesting animated series that happened, but
Some early Will Ferrell, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the quadriplegic. He had no limbs, and he was the like popping around dad figure. But yeah, Mission Hill, awesome writing. I think it was like pretty ahead of its time, which 2000s, everything was.
Crazy time to be alive. After
yeah.
the 2000s. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god.
Oh, good, baby. I'm going to hand this off to my buddy Gus so we can get leveled up. What's up, buddy?
Hey, thank you very much, Jake. Yeah, that's right. I am Gus, 3 levels Langley. And I gotta go in answer to Brenna's question. I'm gonna have to go with Frisky Dingo. It's like a lesser known one, and I quote it all the time, and it makes me feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I'm like, no, didn't everybody watch this? Is it a fever dream? But anyway, yeah, I've quoted it on this show. You know, like, you going down for this one, Cody? Can't help myself. But yeah, I'm playing Dickens Tangleface, the 7-foot tall clown cleric of Glorp. So I hope you brought your cookies for this tall drink of oat milk. That being said, I'm gonna send things back over to Bam.
Kids! Yeah! Oh my gosh, I made it back. Guys, I'm just so freaking pumped. It's always so good to see your lovely faces. And guy, just pumped about level 3 is kind of a big level for a lot of classes. So we're watching THC grow up. But yeah, shit. You know what? Again, it's maybe a little later. Like, I could have picked an earlier one, but I just love it for what it is so strongly. I'm gonna go with both the Brendan Small projects, home movies, with H. John Benjamin, famously Archer's voice as Coach McGurk, fucking brilliant, and then followed by, I actually think it succeeded better, in my opinion, at what it was trying to do. Both of them are amazing, but Metalocalypse. Metalocalypse is worth, if you want to like understand a lot about the way my humor is, that show. First off, it's amazing because Brendan is actually playing that music. I went and saw the live concert of them playing the music of Death Clock, and so the fact that the guy, the brilliant mind that actually wrote the cartoon, is also like playing this like insane metal music is amazing to me. But also, it's just like the tone of the comedy of that show is like, I think about it all the time. Dr. Roxo, I do cocaine.
There's so much cocaine.
The most metal gift of all, nothing. So yes.
Can we give a special mention? Daria obviously was like a standard for a lot of people. It was fucking solid. It was really good. Like, I know I can see it. I know that people are talking about
Beavis and Butthead. It's like there's some cartoons that just were like. It's funny now. I think about it all the time. There's so much content out there. A recent one I just saw, the Boys animated show Diabolical, is actually brilliant. The Laser Eyes Baby's Day Out is one of my favorite things I've seen recently. It's like absolutely brilliant. So there's still good stuff, but it's like back in the day, everything changed when a certain cartoons came out.
And like special mention, the ones that Abby mentioned, like Flapjack and stuff, those are gateway drugs to the cartoons we taught. Like Gumball, all that stuff. Like anyone that watched those cartoons when they were younger, like immediately is like they see any of the other shows that we're talking about, they're like, Foster's Home, like all those.
Foster's.
Yeah, those were all gateway drugs to like the best cartoon shows.
Dexter's
ever.
Laboratory, Invader Zim. Invader Zim is doom. There's some really great ones. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of cartoon. I think it's a brilliant art form. I think the things they're doing with animation nowadays are really compelling. I think Invincible, that came out recently, if you're not familiar with the comic, was a brilliantly done piece. It's like some of the best actors in the world are now voicing some of these. It's such an amazing thing. So obviously we love cartoons, unsurprisingly, because we love fucking weed and D&D. So you probably liked cartoons if your interests combine with ours. So I'm saying, guys, let's kick this thing off. We do have us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter like this electric green one here that matches our Twitch emote. For those of you that sub to the show, make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire and go. Lighters up. Ooh, let's get higher, buds.
We D&D, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. We D&D.
What better way to get higher than with a fine joint like this one here. Holy shoot, guys. Well, we don't have a set the mood, but I just don't know how to do this show until I go to set the mood. We'll bring music. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'm a creature of habit. All right, dude. So we have reached ourselves a crossroad, a milestone moment in the storyline thus far. Our amazing helping committee, all gathered together at a camp in the middle of the night, intending to go and find Cedric Ingelmonder, who had been lost in this cave. You guys went to the cave and found this ancient temple that had draconians in it that loved slopping mayonnaise and regurgitating into each other's mouths. I could describe it again, but I think everybody had enough. Continuing through the Temple of the Ruby Maiden, aptly named for the Ruby Maiden Sardior, Ruby Dragon Goddess, and Mother of Dragons. Finding an egg floating within their temple, they took it with them. And as they left, were approached by Lonza Quinfallow, who wished to gain this egg back. In kind of a strange chase scene with shadow bats and shadow masks flying through the sky and fastball specials, they did manage to obtain the mask of Oko the Shadow Mask, who had taunted them inside the temple. And then through some wild magic, where Amaryllis was gifted the ability to speak something into truth, she uttered the word Sardior, and the egg of this ruby dragon that they had found was forever changed, and the universe all responded with the God Seed. They have now since gone inside and spoken to the divine source within this egg, who has told them that she wishes to be born into the world anew, that they must seek out the fires to hatch the egg and give her and bring her and save this world from these crazy battles and shifts of power that she explained to you guys. You then returned back to your individual lives and kind of resolved some of the story beats, but the scream of a child summoned some of you to the castle, where you saw the child serenade that Pickles Ennui, the childhood guardian of, was being attacked by the Dream Realm and a strange creature known as a Meanlock, who was attempting to transform her into one of its own kind. Stopping the ritual, you all battled admirably, killing a bunch of shadow bats and finding this invisible Meanlock in its own Dream Realm and beating it. Unfortunately, this strange magic aged Sarah 75 years. At the sight of this, with the knowledge that suitors were all going to be coming and gathering soon at the town to take her hand to this great festival that's going on to the south, kind of like Christmas in Sativ on the biggest day of the year, when the Black Iron Gates open and people from all around the world arrive to take the food grown in Sativon and take it to the world. So you guys did a little bit of a dating game. Amaryllis dressed up and put on the clothes of Sarah, and you all kind of functioned in your roles. Dickens became the host, and we ran us a little game where we burned through a couple different suitors and suitresses. I actually had to look it up. That is the way you say female suitor. I had never actually used that word in my life, so I learned a new word. But setting up this elaborate ruse, you guys were able to pick who you thought was the best of the available suitors and suitresses. Vivica C. Fox, the salty, sexy, half sea elf, whose amazing bravado led her to plant a big wet kiss on Sarah's lips. The thing now lingering in your minds is that all of you have been away from the God Seed for quite some time. It is at this point we're going to go ahead and level you guys up. So you will be staring down the barrel of a big decision as a party that maybe we'll resolve right at the end of this or at the beginning of next sesh. And that is, you will not have rested yet. So remember, the Ruby Maiden gave you that glowing light, and that gave you guys a free long rest after your last level. That hasn't happened yet. So if you guys want to rest, which is usually advisable, you will have to deal with the ramifications of losing that amount of time as well. So not the easiest call to make. You may decide that time is of the essence and you want to get to things before resting, or making the decision to rest will give you access to all of these new powers and abilities. So again, that's kind of the pain of the milestone. You don't necessarily get the long rest that goes with it. So, but yes, obviously we've seen each of you guys change your roles and functions. Dickens, your relationship with this strange wayfarer. We've learned a little bit more about Pickles on Wii and what it means to be a Cuddle Forged. Her relationship with this mysterious maid family who has some strange fey blood in them, if Arco the Goblin is to be believed. Gary Greenheart confronting his brother LJ, Scary Bob, in the family farm. Digby finally getting out of the hole in the ground that he spent most of his life in, getting a chance to test his intelligence and artifice, and really making his mark on these combats and stepping up, becoming himself, and finding himself a little stricken with Amaryllis VonCheux. The kind of curious one that basically started this mission, keeping some of the truth of why everybody was going where they were going to herself. But now as she's watched Cedric, be influenced by the powers that be and starts manifesting powers of her own and having this connection, this maternal instinct to this egg itself, and the being, the life force inside, having such a strong connection with you. We've watched even in these, it's really been overnight, like it's the morning after you all met. You know what I mean? Like that's these 11 sessions. That's D&D, baby. And so it's like we've seen how adventure, something kind of alien in the realm of Sativan, a pretty innocent, normal place where people ply their trades and live and walk their own paths, but don't let themselves be caught in the fanciful world of magic and all these things that are going on beyond it. We've seen pretty directly how quickly these things can have influence on these characters. And so, it's funny to think, but it's like in the lifespan of, 12 hours, these characters will have gained 2 levels. So obviously when you stack up all the stuff you've done, it makes a lot of sense. But that's kind of the fun logic jump sometimes in D&D. It's like, things that take 3 minutes take 3 hours to do, and then you can do a 3-hour travel sequence in 30 seconds. It's just the way that it goes. And so you guys have been kind of on the push this whole time. So congratulations, you've reached level 3, a pretty exciting level for everybody. But we do have to figure out who's going to go first. Do you guys want to roll for it? What do you think?
Let's roll some dice.
How often do you get to roll dice? And it's roll d20 so that we can shit crit and crit hit. If
Who wants to roll?
Mama didn't raise no fool.
Roll.
Everybody roll.
Are we
And
doing
I'll
a
actually do
D6?
it right this D20.
What?
2 Pickles.
Her.
Oh, wah, wah.
Yay, shit
Hey,
crit! Yes.
Shit,
Oh, gosh.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Well, Amaryllis, you'll have a chance to look at your new spells a little bit.
Yeah.
There we
Yay.
go. So we've got Amaryllis with her 1. Pickles, you at a 15.
Yeah,
And do I have Dickens? And a 7 for Dickens. I shorthanded it, so it just says Dick 7.
Not bad.
Dicks.
and listen, it's probably better than 7 dicks.
That took me a second. We're just leveling up and we have fun. I love this. All right. So,
Seven magic dicks. Sorry.
so Digby and Pickles tied. So,
Roll another d20.
roll
Fight,
another d20.
Fight.
So fight in real life.
Yeah, baby.
Boom! Pickles rolling through with the 16. So it'll be Pickles. It'll be right now it says Pick Dick. Pick Dick. No, it'll say Pick Dig. Gary Digby or Dickens. I can't even when I'm saying them in a list. I can't do it. And Amaryllis.
Always take Gary Dickens. Like,
Yeah.
All right, and then Amaryllis. So that's our order. So Pickles on we. We will. We'll jump into you first. Let me find your character builder here. Of course, it's the last one, because why wouldn't it be?
Deleted. Pickles on we.
Haha, Pickles on we. So sweet. So you at third level, as again, like not the pure casters, but most classes at third level will kind of hit their a tradition or a discipline, or it's kind of one of the more defining parts of your character as it grows on. For monks, it's their monistic tradition. So in your case, you have a choice of like, what kind of monk are you going to be? They have like Way of the Drunken Master, and you drink a lot and have cool things. But all of them have their own little perks. I know you and I have talked over a couple of them. But yeah, so do you know which one you want to go with?
So when I first made the character, I made it with Dave Clark. Hey, Dave Clark, he watches the show. We love Dave. Dave helps us with so much shit,
VIP bud, for
including character building, because he knows everything about every character.
I'm also on his D&D Beyond right now. Like at this second.
So when I initially made the character, we were thinking it'd be really funny if I took Way of the Astral Self and had, you know how they get arms, they get like astral arms. Well, I wanted it to be like beefy, like dude arms, like hairy man, like bear arms, right? Like fucking Gus's arms, Gus's actual arms would be these astral arms. And so that was the direction that I was like fucking ready for. But then I played Pickles, and we've gone through so much, like, and if, it's like when you take on a character, whether it's scripted or not, like, it just becomes a whole new thing if you decide to let it,
Actually, yeah, I think that's like, if I can use this as a learning point, I know a lot of you guys, especially those of you that hang with the Getting Hires and stuff, like the fact that we kind of discussed the game itself outside of the context of the game. I think that's a valuable lesson for a lot of D&D players, is when you make the character, you don't actually know the character yet. Like, you have to play it a little bit, especially in relationship with the group that you're in. And so it's like, Brenna, this is actually a great example of like what you thought this character was going to be, and then how the character now then has functioned, and the story that we're telling together, it's shifted. I think you're making the much stronger choice to go with what those changes are, rather than force something from an old idea that doesn't necessarily, and not that it doesn't fit, it would fit fine, but like changing and working with something that fits what you found the truth of this character be. That's the thing.
Especially like this early on too. It's this early on, it's kind of forgivable. Like you're feeling them out, and it's like, okay,
totally.
You don't want to do that at like level 10.
Right. Yeah, but by then that's kind of what these early levels are for, is testing it out. It's like you guys all played one class for 2 years. You know what I mean? And so it's like, this is really a lot of your second characters, so it's like...
Yeah, and you know what, too? Like, even thinking about that, just thinking about how in the middle of Gus playing Divot as, like, and even Abby, like, you guys both, in the middle of playing your characters, kind of found something else that you wanted to do and, like, either changed classes or, like, went a different direction, or, like, found a way to adapt them both, which I thought was really cool, too.
Totally.
So I came into this shit, like, thinking I was going to do one thing, but went in a different direction.
I love it. Which direction?
Yeah. So the direction that I'm going to go into is, I think I'm going to go with Way of the Long Death.
Dope. Sweet.
I know it's kind of a newer thing, right? It's not. Yes. It's kind of a newer, like, tradition,
monastic tradition.
Yeah, monastic, bombastic monastic tradition.
Yeah.
But when I read about it, I was like, fucking yeah, like Pickles is now super aware of their mortality. So like, why not get into that? So when I found it, I read what it is, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Monks of the Way of the Long Death are obsessed with the meaning and mechanics of dying. They capture creatures and prepare elaborate experiments to capture, record, and understand the moments of their demise. They then use this knowledge to guide their understanding of martial arts, yielding a deadly fighting style. So I thought about how, like, you know, for the longest time, Pickles just thought he was this, I am a teddy bear. I am a bear, and I am teddy, and that's all I know. I came with a book, and that is what I am. With his tambourine, like, never making sound. Like, I just thought about that, and then with the rock rubs, and him bleeding out, and then also being knocked unconscious at one point with Digby, I think, like, it really made him super interested in that. And even furthermore, like, the blackouts of time that he has between, like, children, like, watching them and then being, you know, around the next ones, and how he kind of struggled with that because he then found, like, Dickens at an orphanage. Like, he was like, well, I gotta go to a place where nightmares happen then, because I got nothing really going on here, so I'm just gonna go check this out. Like, it made me also think about what if he believes or is considering what death is for himself, and if death is what happens between those times. So I think he's just super interested, right? I think he's, like, super interested in, like, what does that mean? What does death mean for him? Because now, like, life is different now too.
That's so awesome. I love it. Especially, it's like we dealt with, like, that great moment with Pickles where it was like where your brain broke a little bit. Like, it's like, oh wait, does anything mean anything? Like, I'm fucking, wait, what is death? Can I die? I have blood? Like, I love this notion that now you're like, well, what is fucking death? And I'm going to figure it out. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's this kind of thing that, again, your battles, the cuddle forged battles that you waged, were in a dream state. You were fighting nightmares. And so the physical reality of yourself, at least as much as you know now, remember, there's this weird kind of past life that you've sometimes thought of and have weird, strange memories of. So it's like, but as far as Pickles knows right now, you know, it's like this concept of death. Will you die? Will those that you care about die? Watching Sarah age 75 years and that, oof, you know, so I just love it. I think it's great. I think it's fitting. It comes from the character and the experience that you're having with the story. And I love, that's also going to be kind of for me as a DM, a fun detail to play out a little bit about, like, what observations does Pickles make about death in these moments, you know, when things die, as monsters so have a habit of doing, you know. And so it's like, it just seems like a fun, cool, there's lots of fruit there. So I love it. I think it's freaking great.
Plus, I love some of the shit that I get, like, touch of death and all that stuff. Like, looking at that, I was like, that's kind of twisted for it to, like, give me a hug.
Yeah, it's I don't have touch of death right in front of me. What's the deal with that? That's your third. That's like the thing you get from being it, right?
Yes, so Touch of Death is starting when you choose this tradition at 3rd level. Your study of death allows you to extract vitality from another creature as it nears its demise. When you reduce a creature within 5 feet of you to 0 hit points, you gain temporary hit points equal to your wisdom modifier plus your monk level.
Dope.
Minimum of 1 temporary hit point.
Dope. Heck yeah. Yeah, you guys would be temporary HP. THC and the temp HP, man. That's going to be, that's the name of the whole arc of this story. No, that's dope. I instantly thought about how often you hug things. And now I'm just picturing you death hugging something like opposite. I'm stealing your feel goods.
Yeah. This is mine now.
So awesome. You do also get, this is a cool ability all monks get at 3rd level, is deflect missiles.
Oh yeah.
So when things are shooting at you now, if you're hit by a ranged weapon attack, so a bow, a thrown weapon, any kind of ranged weapon is specific, not magic, but a weapon attack, the damage that you take from the attack is reduced by a D10 plus your monk level plus your dex modifier. So you're just like, you know, classic monk, they shoot an arrow at you and you're like, whoosh, and just block the arrow away. Now here's what's cool. If you reduce that damage to 0, you can catch it if it's small enough to hold in your hand. And then if you do that, you can spend a key point to throw it back to make a ranged weapon attack with the piece of ammunition or whatever it is as part of the same reaction. So if I shoot you, it does 4, you roll a d10, it's more than 4. You can like catch the arrow, turn around. It's like that scene in The Northman where he catches the fucking javelin, turns around and he throws the fucking javelin back. Oh my God, it still gets me pumped. So that is now a Pickles trait that you have the option to do that all monks get. It has its normal range. It counts as a monk weapon, so you'll get to use like your paw's damage and stuff. It's freaking sweet.
C'est bon. Yeah, I love that. It's bon. C'est bon.
Monks get so many cool little things. And there's a lot of hatred toward the monk class just because like sheer DPS, like damage numbers, it kind of drop off compared to some other classes. I have always felt the flavor of a monk and the cool things you get, like slow fall and like they're all cool narrative. I don't know. I've always liked playing monks, even though I will agree it's like you're not dropping fireballs or, you know, action surging and attacking 8 times. But monks are freaking sweet, dude. They have all kinds of cool little abilities. And I've actually never, I think Way of the Long Death first came from the Sword Coast Adventurers guide. And I haven't actually played that subclass myself, so it's always cool to see new stuff too.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And I don't know, man. I think it's because I don't really participate. Like I participate in our Discord and stuff, but I'm not. I don't participate in the D&D community at large. And all of my knowledge of like role playing and questing and all that kind of stuff comes from video games. So I never really have had the exposure to like the opinions of how to play
Totally.
or of what each class and character is. I kind of have like my own version of what I, you know, through my video game playing, like what everything is and how they act and proceed. So I'm grateful for that. Like I love that my experience as far as like D&D as a whole with like how people think about it and what, you know, like what characters people want to play and all that kind of stuff and min-maxing all of your shit. Like I love that is literally just our Discord. And then like you'll kind of give us a couple like, you know, sprinkles of like, yeah, people hate this, but I don't care, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Like, I feel like I get to then, because of that, create characters kind of based on like, I'm okay with limitations if I could be entertaining for like this experience. Like if I get to, you know, screw around and be a teddy bear for every Tuesday, like I'm down. Like that's more compelling to me than like someone that is so powerful and, you know, like,
no, it's a great distinction too, because, and I'll admit, I'm a bit of a min-maxer just because I, like you, learned a lot of RPGs from playing like Final Fantasy and stuff when I was younger. And so the idea of maximizing, you know, there literally was a thing where it was like, equip your best gear. Like that was like part of the mindset. And I played with meticulous, like some like dudes that were like all about second edition and old school rules. And I learned to, you know, impress my brother. And so it was like, for me, it was like making these like min-max slob characters was a way to be like, hey, look, I've learned the game right. And so I love, and I mentioned it, I think, in the show pretty regularly. I love playing with you guys because you have your own fresh perspectives of what the game is, how you relate to it, what your characters are, what's important to you. You know, it's like taking stat increases that aren't of the main stat in your class. Like, I've never done that, I don't think, in my life. Like, all my characters' goal, it was like, get a 20 in your main stat, and then, you know, it's like, so I love the approach. It's very refreshing to play with you guys. And it does, for me, it's a great learning experience because it's like, you're showing me the truth. It's like, there's a reason there's so many different ways to play D&D. Some of them appeal, some of them don't, whatever. There's so many different flavors, but it's like, I love all the flavors of D&D that we've kind of found together in the way that we play D&D, you know? And so it's like, it's just a kind of a gift to play with, again, like a fresh perspective from all of you guys. So
so I play Assassin's Creed Valhalla like all the time because it's fun to be a Viking and climb mountains and fucking raid churches. That's just so much fun. But I have like the strongest armor. I'm like all maxed out on my shit, and it's like it is fun, but then like I get all this new armor that's like not as good as the armor I have, and I'm like, cool. Well, like
yeah, what's the point even, right? Yeah.
I think in like with this, I get to like not do that. Like as much as I love, like that's my favorite thing about Assassin's Creed is they're like who fucking cares? No stamina bar. Bye. Like they're off. Like like
and Pickles is badass too. Like it's like you've managed to make a fun, weird, unique character that also like you've been kicking ass in battles and you move. It's like you have. It's still a functional, awesome D&D character. But again, like just kind of built in a way. And again, that's not me being like my playstyle is right. It's funny how unique everybody approaches this game. It's something you tend to teach yourself or learn with people you care about, and you think there's a right way. And it's like when you get exposed to other ways, it's so refreshing to be like, man, all of this D&D is good. Like I've loved all of this. Like from our very serious, intense moments built on a year of storytelling to like some of our sillier shenanigans. Like there's room for all of it, and that's what's so fucking great. I think that's what's nice even about what we're doing now. It's like this is a part of the game, talking to you guys about D&D, and I've played this game for a long time and I have a lot of thoughts and theories and stuff, and it's like trying to figure out the best way to bridge that gap. And we have a show, we do a production. This is it's improvised but it's built around the idea of entertaining, and I think I love these opportunities to kind of peel back and look at some of the fight, like why we play Dungeons and Dragons and the way we structure these decisions. So
yeah, well, I'll sip to that.
I'll sip to that. Group sip. Good sip. Ooh.
So
we've reached, Brenna, however, the moment of so much truth here. So as everybody knows, when you level up, you get an additional hit dice. You'll now have 4 d8s, but you got to roll. Well, you don't have to roll for hit points, right? Because you could not roll. Just like if you found someone dying in the street, you could not help them. And yeah, that would have implications on your character and the kind of person that you are. But just like exactly like that scenario, you could not roll for your hit points, and you could take half of the average plus 1. So you actually they give you a little candy for not rolling, which I hate, but I refuse to change. Or you can.
Hey, you know what? It's the same as when you find somebody dying. Sometimes you get a little bit of candy when you don't help them.
That's true. That's it's just like that. My own metaphor is now destroyed.
I'm just saying.
Just turn
all
my
right,
own
quit rolling, you psychopath.
I am crazy. Again, because I put so much pressure on it, I do a blind roll, and you can choose to take your roll or my roll. I will not tell you if it's better or worse. You just have to guess.
What am I rolling? A d6?
A d8.
D8. Sorry. Okay. D8.
And then you're gonna add your.
Whoa.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna switch to that anyway, because fuck me.
You know what? Yeah, it's not a. You know what? I like that because on level ups we don't get to roll a lot of d20s. We're gonna call that a shit grip.
Yeah, because
it's pretty shitty. It's pretty shitty. So Pickles, you get again. My mockery of you has put you again into a wall. You do have. Let me double check here. I believe your con modifier is a +2. So with your 1, you would have a 3, or you could take my roll and add 2 to it. What do you want to do there?
I feel like it's gonna be the same either way, so I'll take your roll.
I rolled a 3.
Yeah, baby!
All right, so Pickles on way, you get 5 more hit points. What's that put you at?
One moment. I refresh my. I was at
now 7. To tell you, Pickles could have gotten 7 hit points had Brenna refused to listen to my goading, and so again, but I respect you so much more.
Delicious respect. So I was at 17.
Were you that low?
I thought I was at 17 because then I get to go up. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 22.
22.
I was at 17 because I thought I started at. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, hold up here actually, because I think I've got you as happy.
Yeah, I swore you were like 19 or 20.
Oh, 19. Here we go. Sorry, I think I was at 19 and I just didn't fix my hit point max on this guy.
So that'll bump you up to 24.
Yeah.
24. 5 HP for Pick Dig.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Drew. Thanks for.
Boom.
This guy doesn't have to take a note, but he knows everything.
He knows. He knows. All right, so sweet. Anything else, Pickles, on Wii?
I'm happy to be here, and I'm proud of all of you. And anytime you want to play catch, or if you need me to teach you how to change a tire or anything like that, you just let Daddy know, and I got you.
Great daddy. Great daddy, highly recommend. All right, well then moving us forward to our man, Digby Moleeggington, the level 3 third. So here we go.
No. I do want to.
So Digby, you get a couple things here. Obviously, you will get levels. You'll get some spells, which is fun here. Let me see.
That is fun.
Yes, go have fun. Because you get
My
to choose.
father, by the way.
What's that?
I just want to. I said you did a great. My father. I can't remember what his name is. Oh wait, no, it's my name.
Yes.
Just minus one of the eyes.
He's a junior.
He's a dose.
He's Dickback Moleeggington Junior.
The deuce.
The junior. Dickback
Dickback Moleeggington, the deuce.
A junior. All right, so here's your big decision, Digby. You get to choose your specialty as an artificer. So there's alchemist, there's the battlesmith, which has like a little iron defender, and you kind of go toe to toe, front line, or use your intelligence for attack. And then there's the artillerist, which, full disclosure, I have many times said is probably my favorite class in the game.
I also had said pretty early on that doing my research, that was what I was going to be going with.
Undoubtedly.
So that I'm not going to lie. I'm going with
so dope.
Yeah.
So it kind of puts you into the realm of like a lot of your stuff becomes more, which is great because we've already kind of toyed with the idea of your gun and maybe it kind of gaining power as you level or losing some of the weaknesses that it has as you kind of tinker on it. It also makes you like a veritable, like a ranged expert. Eventually you'll start being able to augment your fire and acid spells with additional damage. You'll double the range. You'll have a little stick that you can shoot spells out of like a gun. And I think there's a lot of like fun stuff to play in there. But yeah, the artillerist, it's like you start excel at making things go boom.
Oh.
So you get the right tool for the job, which allows you to produce exactly the tool that you need. With thieves' tools or artisan tools, you can create a set of artisans' tools of the blacksmith tools, cooking stuff, the chef's kit, I think it's called, which can coincide with a short or a long rest. Through the product of magic. The tools are not magical and they vanish when you use this feature again. So now, rather than having to cart around a bunch of different types of artisans' tools, you can actually just
make them?
build the ones that, yeah, exactly. You're like such a good builder, you can build the tools you need.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a sweet right tool for the job. All artificers get that. And then now you're kind of specific to this new subclass. You get a tool proficiency with woodcarver's tools now. So again, you can build woodcarver's tools with that last ability if you wanted to.
I was gonna say, doesn't that build up to something awesome later on? I think you told me.
Yeah, so at 5th level, you're gonna get what's called the arcane firearm, where you basically shoot your cantrips and spells out of a little gun, which we're kind of toying with your gun already.
Spell snapper!
Yeah, spell snapper! So the wood carving tools will be eventually like the way that, and again, it fits in with your kind of gunsmithing and this these plans that you found in these books around Nade Manor, and so it kind of just continues playing into again kind of the strength and storyline of your character. You also get proficiency with one type of if you already have it, but you don't, so you get woodcarver's tools.
Nice.
You now, just like Dickens has his domain, and so he has domain spells that he has that are always prepared. You as an artillerist also have these. They're your artillerist specific spells. You get shield and thunder wave always prepared.
Oh my!
Which shield is so freaking good. That's good all the way to level 20. Shield's a good spell.
Right.
So you always have it prepared. You still have to use a spell slot to use it. You always have it.
Okay. Fucking who cares? I get to use it like whenever. That's dope.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. Again, it's like it saves you from having to prepare spells that have really great function. Thunder Wave pushes things away. Shield gives you +5 to AC till the end of the turn as a reaction after you've been hit. So it's like now you're starting like a little personal force field. It's fun to explain it with Artifice as well, where it's like.
I was going to say, can I pair that with my racial ability to get off me and be like almost like a force push?
I love
like
it. Absolutely.
A Jedi, like. No, seriously.
A Dickens craves not these things.
Like, I know I missed a hand, but
yeah, it's super dope. So sweet. So those are the spells, and then the bread and butter of this subclass is called the Eldritch Cannon. Do you have that pulled up, or do you want me to go over it?
You sound just. I had it pulled up earlier when I thought this was going to happen sooner.
It was a simple attack. Pepperidge Farm did this.
Oh God! I opened it back up and then it
turned into a white screen.
It disappeared. Oh my God! Why can't I find it? Artificer, there it is. Okay. What am I looking for?
So this will be your Eldritch Cannon.
All right. So, oh, hold on. Let me put on my glasses. My glasses. Thank you so much for lending them to me. So, the Eldritch Cannon is basically a pet that can only perform one action. They're severely limited by their 15 feet movement speed, so generally, you'll either create a tiny cannon and carry it around, parentheses, or make someone else do it, in parentheses, or you'll create a new small cannon whenever you need a cannon that can occupy a space. You see, creating a cannon takes an action, so consider your choices carefully. An action early in combat, parentheses, or ideally before combat starts, is very important, in parentheses. In addition to their active abilities, your cannon makes a decent tank with an AC of 18 and a decent pool of hit points. They can take a lot of damage, which would otherwise be dealt to your party members, and you can heal them between fights using a cantrip, in parentheses, though the 1 minute casting time for mending can add up quickly if you're not careful. We've all been there, haven't we? Yes. So, small cannons are big enough to provide cover for small characters, like 90% of us. Sorry, Dickens. I love you, though I'm so glad we're friends. And in tight quarters, they might be able to completely prevent enemies from reaching you by interposing themselves. However, be cautious about sacrificing your cannon. You could only have one. You only get to create one for free each day. For free, you see, for those frugal types. And it only lasts for an hour. After that, it will cost you a spell slot, but a first level spell slot is a negligible price to pay for how good the cannon can be. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, pretty strong first level spell slot.
So that's that.
So yeah, what's dope? So you will get to choose. It has 3 forms. There's a flamethrower, which shoots like a cone of fire, akin to the spell Burning Hands. They're pretty similarly. They make a dex save. If they fail, they take 2d8 fire damage, or half if they do pass. You also have a force ballista. So I always think of it like the Predator little shoulder cannon, but it shoots at 120 foot range.
It's like a ballista that shoots dragon penises. I don't know why.
Specifically, forceful dragon penises.
Oh, came into my mind.
So it does 2d8 force damage and 120 feet, so it has like a way higher range. Or the Protector, which is slobby. It in a 10-foot range around the turret, it goes, and each creature within 10 feet of it gets temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus your intelligence modifier.
My intelligence modifier?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Which will be probably 20 by level 4.
Most temporary hit pointless motherfuckers around, y'all.
Pickles be getting temporary HP. Dickens thing has temporary HP. You now have a temporary HP buffer. You do have to choose which kind of cannon it is when you make it. And their little recommendation there is a very good one. And you know how I tend to play narratively for the game. It's a good idea to get that turret out kind of before battle starts. Like you said, sacrificing that action. Not to say that it is a bad choice. Using it is always a great idea. It's such a powerful thing. But establishing, setting it up, thinking of it almost like a defensive turret or a tactical turret, and getting it set out before battle is a nice way to not have to sacrifice an early action. It can move, but it can only move or climb 15 feet.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for that. I did need to hear that. I was gonna say, now that will replace my homunculus though, correct?
No, actually. So the homunculus is actually part of your Artificer infusions, and so this Eldritch Cannon is actually separate. It's part of being an artillerist. You figured out how to build these little like cannons, and so it's actually they're separate. So you could have both your homunculus have roly poly and summon this little turret. Typically the turret doesn't have like a personality, whereas roly poly does. Has like. You guys talk to each other and you have like, the homunculus. He's like a little dude. The turret is more of an inanimate object that can move around and stuff. But it's not like every time your turret dies, you have to have a funeral or anything.
Well, I just wanted to say up until about 12 hours ago, it was my only friend. So, well, actually, it couldn't have been because I leveled up to get it.
That's right, yeah. You got so many new
that doesn't
friends,
work.
bro.
Sorry,
from
bad
no
storytelling.
friends, you went from no friends to so many friends.
So many friends.
So many.
Popular.
So I could theoretically have both at the same time. Is there a way that I could also have both at the same time, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
not as two separate entities? Could I tinker with Roly?
So you can't. The thing is, again, because like the Artificer, you'll find, as you will see once you use it once, you'll be like, I want it all the time. It's so good. So like giving too much more than the abilities it has. Like I would say, you could have it mounted on Roly Poly if you want to do something like that. But like you would be limited by the movement of what the turret can do.
Wait, you're not going to give me a flying fucking turret?
Yeah, like a free flying dope turret.
Like, that's some dog
we
shit.
can get there. Like once you're level 10 or whatever. That sounds classic stuff that you'll start doing. But we gotta embrace the lower level stuff a little bit. You unfortunately, since you're not a pure caster, you don't get access to second level spells yet. You do have one more first level spell slot. And other than that, you got your Artificer Specialist. You got the right tool for the job. You can now use woodworking tools. And Digby Moleeggington, what do you want to do about your hit points?
I will do the respectable thing and roll for it because I cannot take callous remarks.
It's true. I would ridicule you to no end.
There it is. There's the average.
Boom. So you got the average. Let me blind roll mine here. And so yes, Digby, you've got a 4. What's your con modifier? Do you know offhand?
Yes, I do. It's +3.
Is it +3?
Yep.
Man, you got some hit points, bro.
Oh,
I
rolled hot. When
yeah,
we rolled
that's
these
right. You had the craziest stats. I remember it was so awesome.
Except for the one
except for your
one.
6 wisdom. All right. So sweet, yeah. So if with your 4 +3, you would have 7 hit points, or you have the option as well of taking my roll. But you don't know what that is.
I don't. Can you get a little closer to the camera real quick? I just want to. No, I'm gonna take mine.
Sucker! I rolled a 7. All right, so you get 7 hit points. I do like to tell you just so that I can rub it in. After mocking you guys and then you do roll, then I can then again mock you for not taking the blind roll, which could have been worse. Could have been. So hey, you get 7 hit points, Digby. Very nice. What's that bringing you to?
You said I got 7?
Yeah.
Well, that takes Papa up to 29.
29. Yeah, that Digby's. It's the dumps. He keeps the extra HP in the dumps. That's it. All right, Digby, you got anything else?
So many hit points. No, I'm done.
Yeah, you got a lot of hit. Artificers are stout, bro. I'm telling you, it is my favorite class. I love the Artificer Artillerist. It's just so freaking good. Okay, moving on. Thank you, Digby. We've got Gary Greenheart, level 3 Paladin.
Oh, hey. This is a fun one for our boy Gary.
Yeah, similarly to our man Digby, you are also reaching where you get to kind of choose your defining path. And this comes to you in the way of the oath. So again, like all classes, there's many options as far as your subclasses. But do you know which oath you want to go with?
I do. But just a fun fact. It's really interesting because Gary Greenheart was really my backup for Rial, because I'm pretty sure Rial was gonna die. I'm like, I gotta have someone, and he wasn't the Gary we know. He was, just a human paladin. But yeah, here we are.
Look at him now, level 3, making
Look
oaths.
at him now. But you asked about oaths.
Yeah.
So my choices are the Oath of Devotion, the Oath of the Ancients, and the Oath of Vengeance.
Oh my god! That cat has the best timing in the entire world.
Oh my god, yeah.
He really does. He really does.
We'll get him on the show.
Yeah.
What
Look at the
did
cat.
he say?
He's like, is there
I-
one giraffe?
I think he said Oath of the Ancients, which is what I'm going to take.
Ooh. All right.
That's
so
what I thought.
again, as you talked about our man Rial Othravon from the last campaign, one of the other characters from our last campaign, Tina Smoothhands, smoothest hands in the West, too blessed to be stressed. Tina Smoothhands ascended to deity status, became the Green Lady, as it is said in the lore. She came and offered her body to the earth where the city of Ashbury was built, once her own hometown, and gifted the world with the bounty of Sati. And so from her flesh, so the fertile soils were born, and she became, a goddess, no longer bearing a physical form. So our man Gary Greenheart is actually a paladin of Tina Smoothhands, the Green Lady. Forgot about that. So you're what's dope about this is the connection of ancients to both Fey magics, which is something you guys have been seeing a lot of, and nature itself. So do you want to go ahead and paint the picture there? You get your channel divinity with this as well. Do you have that stuff pulled up?
Oh, yeah. Pulled up right here.
The
The old
pitch
PSP.
book. The pub.
The pub. The Oath of the Ancients is as old as the race of elves and the ritual of the druids. Sometimes called the Fey Knights, Green Knights, or the Horn Knights. Paladins who swear this oath cast their lot with the side of light in the cosmic struggle against darkness, because they love the beautiful and life-giving things of the world, not necessarily because they believe in the principles of honor, courage, or justice.
Ugh.
They adorn their armor, clothing of images of growing things, leaves, antlers, or flowers, or maybe like a rose with spider webs, to reflect their commitment to preserving the world.
I freaking love it. So I mean, God, it ties right in. Obviously, Green Lady, the bounty of the farmer's son, and like the. All right, I gotta say too that you read it. It struck me immediately the idea of Gary Green Knight, like Gary the Green Knight, like it's the idea of the Green Knights, bro. That's so freaking cool. I nerd out on your guys' characters so hard. Oh, that's so sweet. But sorry, I didn't mean to interject. So you do get with that. You now have new channel divinities, similar to how Dickens has his bubble of temporary hit points. That's so good. You also get from your oath, you get Nature's Wrath and Turn the Faithless. So Nature's Wrath you basically summon and ensnare a foe. So you make spectral vines grow up from the ground. And within 10 feet of you, you can see it makes a saving throw, or it's restrained by these vines. Holy crap, that's awesome. Do you have Turn the Faithless on there?
You betcha.
Hit me with Turn the Faithless, because this is super cool and very specific to this campaign.
It really is, though. So, Turn the Faithless. You can use your channel divinity to utter the ancient words that are painful for Fey and fiends to hear. As an action, you present your holy symbol, and each Fey or fiend within 30 feet that you can hear, that can hear you make the wisdom saving throw. On that failed save, they're turned for 1 minute until taking damage.
10 rounds.
A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away as it can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you.
You sound just like her.
It also can't take. Oh, jeez.
Can't take reactions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for knowing how to read, Bam. I love you.
We'll get there together, buddy.
One day. If there's nowhere to move, the creature can, use the dodge action. If the true form is concealed by an illusion, shapeshifting, or other effects, that form is revealed while turned.
Dope. So if it's got an illusion on it as well, you can be like, hey, fuck off. And while it fucks off, you can see what's fucking off from you. I think I did that
exactly right. Who's fucking off?
Who's fucking off and why? Hey. All right. Dope. You also get, okay, so you, again, just like, hey, this is perfect. Just like your best bud Digby has just gotten his spells from being an artificer, an artillerist. You also, your oath comes with class spells. So you get Ensnaring Strike and Speak with Animals. You always have prepared. You still, like I said, you still use the spell slot to cast those, but you have them prepared. They don't count against your spells prepared list.
Which is great, because I remember some sneaky badgers kind of wandering around the burrow.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, badgers. Badgers.
Badgers. Oh, yes, badgers.
Badgers.
That's the badgers. Look out! Look out for the badgers. Dude,
but like
yes.
you said, with the kind of like mythical sense of Tina, like Ensnaring Strike, just having vines. That's neat.
You're also your father's son. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're not following the path of the earth anymore, but like, the best farmer in the world, his son summoning greens out of the ground to grab people. Fucking A, that checks a lot of boxes for old Bam.
Yeah. Gotta learn it from somewhere, right?
Oh man. One other thing I kind of skipped over on accident. You get Divine Health. So, dude, you are immune to disease. Just straight up. Immune to disease.
Hold up, can I multi-class as a paladin real quick? I just want to take it back.
You ain't the only one, bro.
Can we just share this with everyone? Like, come on.
Drink my
Everybody.
blood. Drink my blood. You can try it. I can't wait to have you do it. So yeah, holy crap, dude, what a big level. We have a tendency with our show to incorporate level as well into kind of the narrative moment. And so worry not, we will have these little beats with each of your guys when we revisit the campaign. So that there is this, your oath in this connection will bear, story fruit as well. But holy crap, Gary, that's a sweet freaking level for Paladin.
Pretty scary.
No more diseases for this guy. All right, Paladin, you have a D10 hit dice, so yours is a little higher than everybody else's. You can take 6 plus your con modifier, or stone up like a man and roll a dice. It's about the manliest thing you can do, buddy, is roll a small little stone for hit points for your D&D character.
So, I mean, I don't know. Think about the average. It's pretty average, right?
It's plenty fine. Don't let me dissuade you from thinking that average is good enough. Math, you rolled a 3. All right, well, hold up. Let me also roll mine. I have done so. So, Gary, you have 3 plus your con modifier. Which?
Yeah, what's your con modifier, though, bud?
What you can modify. Plus 1.
Yeah,
Oh, plus
Jake,
2.
what's your con modifier?
Because you're a stout halfling. You got that plus 1 also. So you have a plus 2. Plus 2.
It's 2.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. For me, I rolled a 3. So what do you have for me?
Are you going with mine?
Yeah.
Nah, I rolled a 6, which is exactly the average. So you have taken no penalty at my dismissive goading. That I have basically attacked you guys every single time. You're gonna have you'll play with other DMs and you'll be like, they don't even care. They tell me to take the average, and mathematically it makes more sense. And then you'll be like, what is wrong with Brandon? And then it'll the camera will zoom to me and I'll be sitting in a dark tower, just by myself reading tomes.
We love your goading. Smoke for goading.
To goading. Goat hit.
Goading.
All right, guys. So Gary, nice. You with my 6, you get 8 more hit points. What's that bring you to?
All right, 8 more. 27.
Ooh, the stout halfling indeed. Oath of the Ancients. Gotta love it. All right, so that moves us along to our man Dickens Tangleface. Here we go, Dickens. Let's jump in here. I got you. God, I love it. Boom, level 3. Thank you, D&D Beyond. Yo, this is after your last level where you got so many awesome things. You don't really get much from your class itself.
Right.
But you get, since you're a pure caster, you and Amaryllis both, you will now have access to 2nd level spells.
Wow. So I've been thinking about it long and hard for a couple of minutes. And because that's about as long as I can think about anything.
Same, bro.
And I think I'm gonna go with what makes sense storyline wise rather than what's necessarily the best spell.
I love it.
I like the idea of how Guiding Bolt works because I do get to learn one more 1st level spell. And I kind of hated to pass that up to begin with, but there were other things that made more sense. So I'm going to go with Guiding Bolt for my level 1 spell.
Nice.
And then for my level 2 spells, I get 2 of them. And I owe it to the party to pick Revivify. It's like the earliest unkill someone thing that you can do.
I think Revivify is level 3.
Oh, is it?
I think so. I might be wrong. Hold on. Maybe I'm in the wrong list. But I think Revivify is level 3.
Oh, I might have done that classic thing where I'm looking at
Fancy and Magic, bro.
Level 3. This is the level 3 thing. I did the same.
It is. It's a 3rd level spell. So yeah, again, a little confusing. You're actually getting 2nd level spells at 3rd level. So the Fancy and Magic system we can talk about for hours. But yes, so you're reaching 3rd level.
Everything else I was going to say is irrelevant.
Yeah, you have here. Let me. I can kind of help a little bit here. You've got as far as 2nd levels, some pretty good ones. Zone of Truth is cool. Silence, you can counter spellcasters pretty good. Moonbeam is always prepared. That's going to be one of your domain spells.
Moonbeam and See Invisibility, right?
There you go. See Invisibility is always prepared as well.
Yeah.
So Spiritual Weapon is a classic. Having a Ten of Smooth Hands often used her Spiritual Weapon. It floats around and attacks on it as a bonus action, which could be fun because you're a clown. It could be all kinds of things.
That sounds cool.
Locate object.
Like a balloon that he blows up and then just lets the air out of it and it just bonks people as it fucking.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. One thing, Dickens, you have often asked about is asking Glorp for his opinion on what to do. This is the level you get access to augury, which is where you like shake some bones in a bowl and then you get some kind of message. It's basically your way to ask the DM or your god through that same spectrum if it's like the outcomes are good, bad, both good and bad, or aren't especially good or bad. Wheel and woe, or nothing. So that's a spell that kind of fits into something that you've talked about a lot really well. It takes 11 minutes to cast. But it is it a ritual spell? I don't think so. I don't even know. I think I always thought it was. If you cast a spell twice before doing a long rest, there's a cumulative chance that it fails, or just gives you a random meaning, so it might get really confusing. And I roll that in secret. So augury's cool. That's cool. Second level one. Again, what's nice, because Dickens, you're a divine caster, every spell on the cleric list you have access to. It's just which ones you prepare on any given day. So it's like you pray to Gorb to get spells. So it's like not as crucial that you pick exactly what spells you're going to be using for the long term. Hold Person is a very famous, when somebody's held, you get auto crits in melee against them. A pretty strong spell. Lesser Restoration helps getting rid of paralyzation, blind, deaf, or poisoned, or a disease, which obviously Gary doesn't need to worry about. So, but yeah, you get access to these second level spells. You can cast 2 of them, but yeah, which ones you prepare? That would be on any given long rest. You can choose which ones you prepare.
All right. Well, I'll go with spiritual weapon. Definitely, that's an easy sell for me.
It's so good. Especially because you're kind of like a melee cleric. You get into it. You can frontline pretty well with that.
And then, man, I know I'd be doing that augury stuff. I really had my heart set on a silly thing that I found in the spells I don't get to do. But one day, I think I'll go with augury in the meantime.
Sweet. And then, like I said, as you, if you need to adjust those as you go, you would just do it on your next long rest. You can pick entirely new spells. You guys can compare all your spells at long rests.
Ooh.
So sweet. Now that brings us to, the hot topic of the night here. You have a D8 hit dice, Dickens Tangleface. Do you want to take your average, which would be 5 plus your con modifier, or do you want to roll and risk it for the biscuit?
Yeah, and then for lunch we do something cool, like we roll our dice and we find out how many hit points we get.
Das gut.
Yeah, I'll roll.
I have also rolled in secret.
I get to roll a D8, right?
That's correct. Plus your con modifier.
All right, so 4 plus what? All right. I'm gonna keep mine.
All right, I rolled a 2, so good job. You dodged me totally screwing you, which I was hoping for because it was a 2.
All right, so I get 4 plus 2, so I get 6 hit points.
6 more. How many hit points you got? You tall glass of oat milk.
This boy has alcohol in his oat milk because he is 21.
Ooh, nice. His hit points can drink. Dude, awesome. So yes, you again obviously choosing your Twilight domain last level was one of your bigger, stronger levels in the jump. This is one of the rare moments where, although honestly, second level magic is really strong too. So you'll find it's more utility spells in second level. All your big damage whammies are coming in level 3. Guiding Bolt, you're gonna love. Let me just tell you, in Baldur's Gate, it's probably the spell I cast most as a cleric. Yeah, it's a super useful and helps in combat aid your other frontliners. So pretty dope.
I was really excited about Meld to Stone, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah. And again, it's like, yeah, that third level spike, so when you guys hit 5th level, you get 3rd level magic. Isn't that fun? Thanks, Fancy Magic. So, yes, but at 5th level, that's when all pure casters are just like, yeah! You get fireballs and all kinds of great stuff. You fly, haste. Yeah, that's when things get silly. All right, Dickens, you got anything else, brother?
That is plenty for me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes. The Foley of Dickens Tangleface. That's just It's just a little gift. All right, which brings us to Amaryllis VonCheux. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh shucks! I'm gonna take a hit again because you did shit crit, and I'm just this is for me. This isn't You do what you want. This is what I'm gonna do. All right, so Amaryllis. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Woo! You got those sweet spell points last level, and all you've been able to do is turn them into spell slots, which is helpful and cool, and don't think you won't do that. You still will. But you now get meta magic. So meta magic is a way to augment the spells that you cast with those spell points. Now there's a bunch to choose from. We've messaged back and forth a little bit about like which ones I like and seen used, and because some of these are like they sound better than they are in practice because of how meticulous the spellcasting rules are. And so I just wanted to kind of be ahead of the curve on this one. But yeah, we've kind of narrowed it down, but I don't know which ones you're going to go with. Do you know which ones you want to choose?
Yeah, I was taking a look at them, and I really like Subtle Spell.
Subtle Spell.
Yeah. When you cast a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to cast it without any somatic or verbal component. Yeah, that seems very useful.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's like, so without verbal and somatic components, you're not standing there going, casting a spell. You're just standing there, and then a spell happens. So that's a freaking sweet. It has narrative function as well, but it's actually really useful in the sense of like one of the downfalls of magic is that it's being cast. And so if you can manage to pull off certain spells that have saves and they fail to save and they don't see you cast it, you could have somebody under the influences of magic without the people around knowing it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, totally. And I think being from such an idyllic place that magic isn't practiced as often, it just is natural to feel like I have to hide it.
Yes, I love that a lot. It's like you're no fool. It's like the kingdom of Sativan is almost anti-adventurer, and so the notion of like you're unchanneling these new powers within you, but like this egg that you've connected to, your power rests inside. That's fucking. I really dig.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I get 2 for now,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
I also really liked Twinned Spell.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. When you cast a spell that targets only one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can spend a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level to target a second creature in range with the same spell. 1 sorcery point if the spell is a cantrip.
Dope.
Yeah.
So it is, as you can see, that's a pretty meticulous. Both targets have to be in range. It's got to be a spell that doesn't target you, but targets only one creature, not many. And so I think Chaos Bolt would actually fall into that because the jump is secondary to the spell. So you could throw a Chaos Bolt and then be like, and then split the spell, and boom, boom, it hits 2 of them, and then based on the spell could then jump to other targets. That's fucking cool.
Ooh, that's juicy. I like that.
Yeah. So you
slobby, as thine says.
Ooh, yeah, that's slobby. Yeah, that's it goes just like slob. That's a slobby ability, and I love it.
I gotta get hep with the lingo.
That's it. Yeah, that's old. That's like my D&D crew. Like we all say slobby a lot.
I like it.
So your font of magic, I just want to see. I think you have 2 sorcery points, and as you reach, okay, so at first level. I think it's actually in the class. How many spell? Do you get 1 more? I think you get 1 more, don't you? You have 3.
I'm not sure.
Let me see. Sorry.
She gonna do 1 more.
I mean, I'll take it.
Boom. And then sorcery points. Yes, at 3rd level you get an additional 1, so you have 3 now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, instead of 2.
Right.
You can still use 2 to create a spell slot if you wanted to, but now you also have these other cool things that you can choose to do. So as your mastery of this wild magic that you draw your source of power from, you're starting to, perhaps through the relationship with this divine power source, you're starting to learn how to augment this stuff in real time. The idea that like you spoke a truth into the world and then now you don't need to speak to cast spells that's juicy story stuff in my book. So dope. And now you also will get access to second level spells. Now remember, sorcerers, you get a lot of spell slots and you don't know many spells. So at third level, you learn only one more new spell. But you can choose from second and first level spells what ones you know, and you can cast 4 first level spells and 2 second level spells. You can cast 6 spells at third level. That's pretty dope. That's like double, I think, what Digby can cast.
Yeah. Take that, Digby.
Pure casters, man. You and I think
Yes,
even
please.
Dickens might right now is about the same, but will drop off eventually. Sorcerers just have a ton of spell slots. That's what's cool about them.
That is-
The coolest thing, even that haircut. Did that come with a level up? Like,
Oh, hey, thank you. Oh. It did actually. Yeah, I stepped into the level up, and then the hair just fell off.
Meanwhile, I threw a hat on. That
Oh.
was it just
That's
was-
cool too.
That's all I did.
Yeah, I was referencing Brenna actually,
Yep.
but
Brenda got a haircut too. and
There's
she looks
so
fat.
many dope haircuts going on right now.
did we all? No.
I do need a haircut. I probably need about 3 inches off of this. It's starting to get stuck in my costume at work. That's what I know. When your wizard's like, ow.
I was gonna cut my hair earlier, but I didn't because I can't because of my fucking elbow. I was like, oh, thank God I didn't like start on this side like shaving. It was like, and then been like, okay, now it's this. Oh,
Oh, I'm wishing you a speedy recovery on that elbow.
yeah.
Seriously.
Gout in my elbow for the first time. Welcome to almost fucking 41, Drew.
Man.
Yay!
Get fucked on.
41.
Elbow
41.
gout.
Early birthday.
Early
Brandon,
birthday.
do you usually have to think about your haircuts as like a fire hazard? Like you gotta do it?
Straight up, yes.
Oh,
So I have
yeah.
learned, obviously, I've been shooting the flamethrower for 5 years now, so I've learned ways to not, where I'm not getting the backdraft of heat that comes like, it's not just the flame that's hot, but there's a heat ball that, since I'm shooting straight down sometimes, would come back and it used to like singe my eyebrows or my eyelashes and my hair. I used to have all these tons of little short little hairs here. But I've gotten better over the years about like kind of like not putting it where the heat ball comes right back. But I have, like I know it's like I do have a fire staff that I spin around and like hold in my hand and walk with and shoot. And so it's like around this length, I start getting singy tips. Like I'll smell burnt hair and look down and it's like I'll have the little crispies at the end of my hair. So yes, I do have to like factor in. But also it's like I can't cut it too short because I'm a freaking wizard. Like it's like, you want that like freaking I'm like a dark wizard thing,
I'm so sorry.
and so
Are you saying that I couldn't be a dark wizard?
you know you could. In fact,
It's
you look
It's just a
you look
different
very similar to one of
variety
our
of
other wizards.
real quick.
But for me personally, I want that like brooding
for
D&D
me?
wizard, like shadowy eyes, like So it's
What
yes.
I love is there's probably like a couple people watching that are like, what do you mean fire staff? Like,
That's
they're
true.
Like, what?
And I refuse to explain.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, they'll be like, wait a minute, so this guy, like in real life, he does this? They just think I'm talking about my class abilities.
He works at a Chili's.
IRL.
The fajitas, the sizzling
I was-
fajitas.
I was the
Yeah.
barbecue sauce guy.
Oh.
Barbecue
He's
sauce.
the barbecue sauce guy. That's the
That's it.
guy.
You know,
Give me
it's
that
fam.
quesadilla explosion. Ugh.
Man, you know the barbecue sauce guy fucks.
Yeah,
From
bro.
the Chili's
Yeah.
commercial.
Dude, fucks.
Coming for you, big barbecue. We got the
Big
barbecue.
BBQ.
Barbecue sauce guy from fucking Chili's.
Next
Chili's.
week on Weed&d, the barbecue sauce guy from Chili's. Dude, I bet he.
It was Arco all along.
It's like
Yeah.
we also needed 2 tenors to sing like the actual "I want my" or whatever. Chili's, babe. But they didn't
You
show up,
guys
so it's
should-
just like
it's got to be like 70 something, by the way, because
Yeah.
that commercial is so old.
So old. I'm dating
Wow.
myself.
Okay.
Abby's like, I don't even know what you guys are talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm not
God.
entirely.
But like we were kids, and that actor was probably grown as fuck.
Yeah. He's like sick of it. He's like, I ain't talking about no barbecue sauce no more. People leave me alone.
He's like, I'm vegan.
All right, so
Good
Amaryllis,
job.
you do get access to second level spells. You got any ideas for? Again, you only learn one new spell this level. That's the hard part of sorcerers.
Well, if it's only one, then I really like blindness and deafness.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Again, now think about subtle spelling blindness or deafness. Like
Yeah.
nobody sees you cast a spell and then somebody goes blind or deaf.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
It's just so
sweet.
juicy. It's so juicy. I love it.
That's so fucking, that's slobby.
Excuse me, it's sloppy.
That's
That's
so
so
sloppy.
sloppy.
I love it. Oh my gosh! All right, Amaryllis, you're staring down the final barrel of the level up, and that is your hit points.
I'm gonna
now
roll. I'm gonna roll.
that's
I'm gonna roll.
look at her go. All right,
Don't make fun. No goading. I can't take
No,
it. I'm a
well,
delicate flower.
it's too late to goad. All right, so you're gonna be a D6, D6. So again, that would be, so you rolled the average. You rolled what you would have gotten if you hadn't rolled. However, I'm also going to blind roll on my side. You can choose to take yours or mine. Even I'm not going to look at it until you say.
I'm gonna take mine.
Good. I actually rolled a 4 too, so it's weird how often we have actually just settled on a median. But
Is it
yeah,
weird?
it was meant to be. You're weird.
I'm the only one that got fucked on this whole deal.
I am sorry for that. And again, it's like, I think that I also blind roll with you guys, I think to offset the goading a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's my little, I don't know why I hate it so much when people don't roll for their, I think it's just because I love all my clicky clacks. And so it's like when I'm playing D&D, I just want to roll all the dice that I can because I have 1,000. And so it's like, yeah, I just love dice so much. So I think that's why. But again, that's
One
how it is.
last smoke for goading.
Let's smoke to
Yay,
goading,
goading.
guys. So Amaryllis, you'll get 4 plus your con modifier.
Which is 1, I believe. So 5.
So 5 more hit points.
And
I
that
think
takes
you
me
got-
to 22. I'm at
Boom.
17.
So there you go. You all got a little bit of durability left, and now you can
Yeah.
you can
Stomp
take a
here.
few hits and shift your playstyle a bit. Like a lot of these powers kind of change some of the dynamics that you've established in these earlier levels. So I'm really excited to see it. I'm dead. I like this idea. Let's take a hit here to level 3, my friends.
Oh shit.
Boom. Yep, that's right. Another one. So holy shit, dudes, you guys are kind of standing at a precipice, this mysterious god seed with the powers, this dormant powers contained within. When last you saw it was, causing some issues near the Burrow, Digby's family's restaurant. And it has been some time since you've seen what was going on with it. So we know what we're going to be jumping back into next time we play, which will be next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific. I want to thank you guys so much for being here, for getting higher with us. I want to thank my amazing cast for telling us such wonderful stories where even these little moments about bringing these new elements are all part of the thing. They're part of that story, and it's freaking great to see. So thank you guys so freaking much for just being your awesome selves, hanging out, getting higher. Thanks so much to you, buds, for all you do, all the support. Seriously, it's such a gift to get to do this thing, and we're just going to keep freaking making it bigger and better every single week. We do have us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe you haven't. But we like to take a lighter, like this little electric green one here. You might have one. It's down there in chat if you're watching us on Twitch. Make sure you're not going to light any of your friends, family, or household pets on fire. And go. Light us up. Holy crap, guys. We've got some pretty crazy stuff happening in this little chapter 1 as we navigate toward what to do with this god seed. Please join us for our future adventures and hang out with all these lovely people. And don't forget, you kick ass, make something amazing, and have a kick ass fucking week. We love you, buds. Thank you so much.
Brandon, you made us smoke 3 times in a row.
3 times in a row.
Unfair.
Take me
It's
home.
true.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
For level 3.
Oh.
And that's dungeon mastering.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Dear diary, we won D&D today.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm
from the internet.